Hey, everybody, this is Dale Calvert. I want to welcome you to this week's podcast. If you're listening online, I'm really going to suggest, if you can, go to YouTube and watch this live. We're doing something a little bit different this week. We're going to feature a good friend of mine, Tony Shoup, an unbelievable story. So I would go over there and check that out on YouTube if you can. If you're in a car and you can't do that, obviously continue to listen. But I'll put the link directly to the YouTube video in the description of the podcast. But I'm really excited. Tonight's subject is Burnout Network Marketer returns after 20 years to have record-breaking success. And I'll tell you why I wanted to get this done. I was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota with some of our team this past weekend. And Tony was one of the speakers and absolutely crushed it on the stage. And then he was showing us at the airport. We actually met up with him and his wife Christina. We didn't even know we were going to be on the same flight into Sioux Falls, but he was showing me his check that he's receiving this month from a company we've been working with, and it was like, well, you'll see it in the thumbnail. It's over $45,800 for a month. And here's somebody that basically 20 years ago had said, I've had enough, not doing it anymore. So as we go through this tonight, I want to really encourage you to listen to the first podcast I ever did with Tony. It was called, Life Happens. And he was talking about, I think the actual title was Deciding to Build Again. But those of you on YouTube, you see Tony and his wife, Christina, and his three daughters. Got a phenomenal family. He's in my home state of Kentucky. But this is the description I said on the first time we interviewed Tony. And again, you can check this out, tinyurl.com/Tony Shoup story. But this was done March 16, 2022 is when it was actually uploaded. And Tony and I had met a little bit of time before that, and he got started with this. And we said in the description, over the years, we've all met people at one time in their life, gave their heart and soul to a network marketing company. They had success, but maybe not at the level success they had hoped for. Many times for reasons they had absolutely no control over. And that's a lot of people I know that listen to this podcast, or somebody may have sent this to you because 20 years ago or 15 years ago, you really got involved with the company and gave it all you got, but it just didn't pan out how you'd hoped. It says you may have had this experience. Unfortunately for the industry, many times these people leave the profession determined never to return. And the truth is, everyone who works falls in love with their first company. And after you give a company or profession your heart and your soul, and your dreams fade, it's really hard to come back with the determination, focus, and belief it takes to really dream again. I mean, how many times have you heard people say, I just can't do it again? And I get that. And people mistakenly think all network marketing team cultures and all opportunities are basically the same. And that is absolutely not the truth. I have no doubt if you go back and, again, listen to this podcast, you'll be thinking of people you've met or maybe even former team members, or we might even be talking about yourself as you hear it. And I hope you'll share Tony's story with them. And again, that's the first podcast, but I wanted to do an update basically because of this check and because I just saw him crushed it in Sioux Falls. But that's not bad for a month. You can see over $45,000. There he is, just crushing it in Sioux Falls at this past event. So with all that, that's some of our team members that were there. I'm going to stop these slides for people on YouTube. Tony, welcome. I'm so glad you're with me tonight, man.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Like super excited. Fired up.
Yeah. How did it feel on stage this weekend? It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, it's awesome. I got up and I don't know, it just came back to me, and I mean that just emotion with conviction. I mean, I just people out there. I don't know, man. I just kind of, as I was talking, kind of sharing like some of the reasons why I've not been involved for so many years. It kind of really, it hit me right there, and I kind of got up there and just winged it. And yeah, but I appreciate you having me tonight, man. If I can help anybody, that'd be great. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. And you made reference to emotion with conviction, because that's level 5 communication, which is something I was talking with somebody this weekend about how that's a point that I have not really driven home with this group. Like I need to, but we will. But man, it all came back. I mean, when you get in front of the room, there's 5 levels of communication, level 5 conviction with emotion, and you just absolutely crushed it.
Thank you.
I got to ask you, when you decide to re-enter the profession after being out for 20 years, I'm sure people around you were thinking, what is he doing? Why is he doing it?
Mm-hmm.
How was that? How did you come to that conclusion, and was it a good one to make?
I'm going to be honest. When I talk to you, but 25 years ago, when I got involved, I gave it everything I had, my heart, my soul. And I guess I know a lot of people do that, right? But especially with their first company, and and you give it everything. And you say all the time that network marketing is really a personal development program with compensation plan attached. And me personally, it changed me at a level that's I can't even explain. And one of the tremendous blessings to it is I've taken it with me my whole life.
Right.
So when things happen, when I got into corporate America, I've applied it to everything in my whole life, and I've been very successful. But I guess it's all about timing for people, and I was successful, but I wasn't where I needed to be, if that makes sense, and I knew it deep in my heart. I knew there was so much there still inside of me. And you can't apply it. You can't apply that type of hunger to a regular job, because you're limited. You're limited. You're limited to promotion status. You're limited to, and sometimes you've said it before. You're pretty much waiting for somebody to retire or die to move up. And me personally, I was in a place I wasn't going anywhere, and I knew it. And when we talked, it's been awesome. It's been the best thing that's ever happened. And my wife, she wasn't with me back then during those times, right at the very, very end. But she didn't really get to experience a lot of that stuff with me back in the 90s. But she definitely is now. And she's really got to experience some stuff. And, like you showed a picture of that check, that really that particular check for this month, when I took her to the bank a little while ago and let her put it in. So, and that was pretty cool, dropping that in the checking account. But, for her, it was awesome. So, but me personally, man, I just, this industry still holds the possibility to take a creative, just control of your life. And it will always be that way. And, I had lost it to a point because I thought I was going to have to settle, because it's changed so much, man. It's changed so much. And it's not like, to me personally, now there's opportunity out there, but the culture is not there in most places. And what I mean by that is, the culture we developed back in the 90s and the culture that we're developing now, there's nothing else like it. And I've been approached by, to say I've not been involved in 20 years. Yes, I've not been involved in 20 years, but I've been approached 1,000 times.
Right.
I had one guy at one point in time, he drove 3 states to sit in front of me where I worked and just pitched and pitched and pitched. And I did not have any interest in it whatsoever. I was done. I was done with it. But that personal development that I went through all those years ago, and that I still continue to go through every day, it creates a hunger and a fire inside of you, man. And you have got to have some place to apply it or you're going to explode.
That's right. That's right. And the thing when I talk with people like you, that especially people that I've worked with in the past, that I know what's in them. It's an unfulfilled potential. Like I had a conversation this afternoon with a guy that was in Sioux Falls, and I've known him off and on for years, and he's seeing what's going on, and he's still got a lot of doubts and frustration, but he's been around the industry forever and never really hit big. And when you leave knowing that you could have, it's going to kind of haunt you. It will never leave your blood. It's always going to be in your blood. And I just call it unfulfilled potential. And, you saw what Gordy on our team did this year.
Oh, man. Oh, my gosh.
Unbelievable. He's made over $1 million this year. And when we talked initially, several years ago, he said, and he's doing good like you. He took what he learned back then, applied it to his traditional business, and he was doing phenomenal, by most people's standards, as you have everywhere you've gone, everywhere. But he said, I don't know why I even think about this because I don't need it. I don't really want to mess with it. And it's that unfulfilled potential that a lot of people out there, Tony, a lot of people out there like you guys, and I think it's just a matter of getting with the right team, the right opportunity, the right time in history. But you mentioned that the industry's changed a lot since you've left. And it has, especially in the last 5 years, but for sure in the last 20. In your mind, how has it changed?
Well, I mean, and you think, well, how do I know? Well, I mean, you teach us to do outreach, and we do a lot of outreach, and we contact a lot of people. So we hear a lot of the game people are playing, maybe the company they're involved in, what they're being taught, some of the comments they actually make. And, it's a shame when somebody says, and you say this all the time, that, I've been in network marketing for 15 years when they really just had maybe 1 year, lousy year repeated 15 times. Right. And it's unfortunate that that's a lot of the stuff we approach. But what blows my mind is the number of people that are trying to appeal to people, the mediocrity in people. And they're doing it because a lot of these leaders that preach and teach this garbage from the stage, they've never done it before. And they know if they appeal to mediocrity, they're going to get a lot of followers. And and they're going to get a lot of people to buy their programs. And it makes me sick, man. And there's very few people that you're listening to out there that's actually done it, what they're talking about. And that's why I think you got to be very careful with what you're looking into or listening to or who you're talking to. And I know you, Dale, and what you created back in the day and the culture you provided to us and the wisdom of the ages, principles, and teachings that we went through. And I'm just, man, when we started talking a while back and you had a vision of getting back rolling, building a team again, I'm going to be honest, a few of the things we looked at, man, and here's the thing. It don't matter what you've done if you're right with the right team. And it don't matter what's going on in that team at the point in time. If you're around the right culture and you're around a team that wants to help each other and everybody's growing together, and I'm being honest with you. If you're willing to grow and you're willing to be taught and you're willing to listen, man, there's no other or better place than there is right here. I mean, I get just overwhelmed sometimes and about the point of trying to think big again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and I think that's kind of what I got to the point because I didn't want the disappointment of not making it, Yeah. And that's probably what prevented me from ever taking the plunge with anybody else. And, maybe that's an excuse. Maybe it's not. I know me personally, um, it does a whole lot for you, you know, when you can get involved with a team and you start making the kind of money that you know is available.
Yeah.
And I can't explain it. When you see that stuff start happening, and it's going to definitely change your mindset. Uh, so
Yeah.
yeah,
So, and I'm just going to throw this out here, but I have no doubt some people say 45,000. Man, I bet he has a bunch of followers on social media.
no, no, we don't do that. That's kind of, that's one of the things, y'all. If you go back, some of the stuff that they're teaching now, it's absolutely nonsense. I mean, it's nonsense. We all travel the same road. We're only going to get there by a set of rules, principles, and concepts that are never going to change.
That's
They're
right.
never going to change. They're just the law, man. It's like gravity. I don't care if you believe that gravity don't exist. If you go and jump off a cliff, you're going to drop and hit the freaking ground. And it's just the facts. And the laws here are the exact same thing. And they keep trying to tell you that there's easier ways to do it. And this is a simple way. And we can get on TikTok and dance or talk tick and dance and make yourself look like an idiot to draw followers. And it's just, man, it's going to take work. It doesn't take followers.
Right.
This is the leadership development business. It don't matter how many people you got following you on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. It just does not matter.
It's not, because the only people you're going to attract are the people that would rather watch you for a few months than the cat videos, because they've already seen all the cat videos on YouTube.
That's right.
People that want to be entertained. This is
That's
not an
right.
entertainment business. This is a leadership development business.
Oh gosh,
It
our time
absolutely is.
that's right.
Absolutely.
Our time is the most valuable thing, guys.
That's
And
right.
if you're pulling in people through the form of mediocrity, do you realize what kind of team you're going to develop?
That's right.
I mean, you're gonna be begging them to do anything. It's absolutely nonsense.
It is. It is. And we can continue on this, because a couple of weeks ago I did a session called the Network Marketing Insane Asylum, and I know you agree with that, but why do you agree? What I mean, to me, it's just like I can't watch anything without throwing up in my mouth a little bit. It's like, what are they really trying to do here? It's not build a real business with real customers.
No,
It's
it's
just
not even. Yeah, it's not even close, is it? It's not even close. I mean, you take people have got to a point. I mean, it's not. It's a deceptive tactic. It's just deceptive, man. They're trying to deceive people into thinking that they've got it all figured out. And it's absolutely mind-boggling to me on how many people are actually listening to this nonsense. I mean, it really is. It blows my mind.
Yeah, it's like, what? You don't think they can teach me how to sponsor 15 to 20 people this week like they told me they could on the video? Or how I'm going to teach you how to sponsor 30 people in 30 days? And it's like, they don't know your company. They don't know your background. They don't know your experience. They don't know it. Foo-foo dust.
It's crazy. 100%.
So,
It's 100.
and see, the thing that I haven't mentioned, Tony, but I need to, you've built all this part-time.
Right.
Your
Right.
income, I mean, you say he didn't make that part-time. Oh, yes, you did.
Yeah.
Part-time. And no huge social media following, no huge team, just right company, right opportunity, right time, go to work, get through the numbers, do what needs to be done.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
My only regret is that I wished I was full time, had quit my job a year ago. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
we don't really know what's going to come along, but it's been a 100% part time. I mean, I work a job like a lot of people. So
yeah. What would you tell somebody that, they've made, like you, like they have been active in network marketing maybe 20 years or 15 years or 5 years, and they're thinking about joining another company because I mentioned this weekend that when COVID hit, network marketing enrollments increased. I mean, people are joining Amway for the fifth time, or whatever. And as when the economy gets really, really bad, you're going to see network marketing numbers increase. But maybe somebody that they're like you, they've had a successful career, they're doing well financially, but they just have that burn, that unfulfilled expectation that they really do have, and they're thinking about joining the company. What would you tell them?
I would say, uh, be honest with yourself. That's one thing you can count on. Be honest with yourself. Um, and then if you're even remotely thinking about getting involved in the industry before, again, and if you don't know about our team culture or what we've created or any of that particular thing,
You will.
I would tell you, and I would tell you this: get 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 involved with us for a little bit. Listen, take notes. And then I would tell you, give us a year of your life if you want to get serious, and you'll look back and you will never remember the person you were that started this.
That's right.
Because it will definitely change your life, your perspective, your family's life. I mean, guys, this company is not about, and Dale sells all the time, it's not about making an extra $300 or $400 a month. That's not what it's about. This industry is about creating generational wealth. That's what it's about. That's what got people fired up back in the 80s, 90s, and on back. But I mean, people wanted to quit their job and find something. And we've kind of got away from that to the point where it just sounds like a bunch of nonsense out there. And people think everybody's lying. And why wouldn't they? If I had any business sense whatsoever, and somebody's telling me how easy it is to build a business, or how they're going to build my downline for me, or this kind of nonsense, I mean, I don't want any part of something like that. Well, I'm telling you right now, if you're willing to go to work and develop yourself first and learn and follow a detailed, proven system, if you're willing to do that, guys, I'm telling you, it's time to dream again. It's time to dream again. It's time to dream again. You give us a year of your life. You get in and plug in. And I mean plug in. It's going to take work. This is not a lottery ticket. You're going to really see what this industry can provide. And you're going to get to dream again, man. Because I am. And it's awesome. It's the most awesome thing ever. And I'm so glad to be here, man.
One more thing, Tony, and I'll let you go. See, you were there and you saw Joy Moore's story, Paul Marshall Lane, David Cook. I could go on, Brad Bradford. I could go on and on and on. You saw it firsthand, the people that plugged into basically the same franchise that we teach today, based fundamentally, wisdom of the ages. And you saw those lives, you saw them change. When I talk about developing a team of over 200, 5, 6, and 7-figure earners, you witnessed the whole thing. You saw it all. Okay, this is 2023, buddy. Is it really happening again today with our team?
Yeah, if you all could see, if you all could witness this, and I'm telling you right now, yes, it is at 100%. But I think it's going to be here again. I mean, this last pod, I recommend everybody listen to the podcast before this one this week, this past week, because you can hear some of the people in this group.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, when you hear Oh my gosh, everybody, Alan, Mike Culver, come on, everybody. It's just absolute.
Pamela spent
Yeah.
11 years in another company, 11 years, never made over 300 a month. She's had $20,000 months this year. Philip Cantu, I mean, all of them. Mike
All of them.
Culver. We start
Oh my
naming
gosh.
names that we feel bad because we're leaving people out.
Exactly. Yeah. And I recommend it, guys. I can tell you. And here's the thing, man. Some of these folks that we're talking about that was on last week, they've only been here for a short period of time. I mean, it's not like they've been here for 30 years because you're going to listen to them from last week and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I could never be that way, right? I could never do that. Oh, yes, you can. Oh,
Right.
yes, you can.
That's right. That's right. Because we don't cater to mediocrity here.
That's right.
We don't. I mean, we just don't. You can inspire greatness or cater to mediocrity. And we made the choice years ago, knowing catering to mediocrity was easier in the short term, but long term, where's it going to get you? Man, we inspire greatness and we understand team together. Everyone achieves more. We're like this. Yeah,
That's
we're going
right.
on a cruise when in April is just a
April.
team, just the team's going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for being with us. Let me stop this recording because what we're going to do next, I'm going to take them right into, if I can find it and pull it together, which I'm trying real hard right now. But I'm going to take you into the 10 minutes you had on stage in Sioux Falls this weekend, just crushing it. So I'm going to share that with them. So let me stop this. And before I do, though, if people want to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
Shoot me an email, Tony, TONY, Shoop, SHOUPE @gmail. Or man, you can simply give me a call, 859-585-3429.
What they want to pitch you? What they want to pitch you? The greatest next company coming, man.
Sorry, don't call me.
Please tell them. Yeah, no, really, you're wasting your time. I promise you.
That's right.
I promise you. All right, let me stop this so I can get into the training.
He did. He sounded just like me, but he was saying things that I've never actually heard before, and it just struck me. It hit my heart. And to make a long story short, I called the 800 number. I got a cassette tape. I got a letter in the mail. I went to a meeting and I got involved. I signed up for this company. From that point on, I actually started listening to the tapes, reading the books. I did everything that Dale told me to do. And by doing that, by filling my mind, Zig Ziglar said one time, you are where you are in life because of what's going on in your mind. And the only way to change where you are in life is to change what goes in your mind. And I took it to heart. And I listened to the tapes, and I read the books, and I completely cleaned out the junk. And I worked a third shift job at the time, and I listened to about 8 hours of tapes a day. And it completely changed me. And after about 8 months of doing that and working my business as hard as I possibly could during the day, I went full-time. I was able to go full-time. I was able to replace that small income that I had, but I quit. And I started working the business. And from that point on, my life has never been the same. Guys, over those next 2 years, I saw what this industry had to offer to those people, those average people with above average desire. People that wanted to make a change. People that were sick and tired of being sick and tired. And it changed my life forever. Now fast forward. I wasn't brought up here to talk about myself, but I wanted to give you a little idea of where I come from. Now fast forward, I've not been involved in this industry in over 20 years. And you ask why? Well, around 2000, when the internet came out, you had these self-proclaimed gurus going around and they were teaching and preaching these things. They were standing on stages and they were telling people, oh, here's what you need to do to be successful. And the shame is a lot of these people that were preaching and teaching these things had never done it themselves. They've never been involved in the industry. They've never built a team. They've never done
Right? They've never done it before. And it made me sick. It made me sick. You know, and I just did not want to get involved. I didn't want a part of that. Well, guys, you got people in this room right now that are on board. They're there for you. These three big D's that have been up on stage today, we need to catch that vision. We need to see what they see. We need to grab a hold of that vision and push yourself forward. Now, guys, Bill said a little while ago, there was an article in a magazine years ago, Success Magazine, that said, if people want what you're selling, you will get rich. If people want what you're selling, you will get rich. And guys, people don't want lotions, potions, and pills anymore. That's not what people are excited about. Companies are going around and they're looking for the little red wagon to dangle in front of people. So hopefully they can get a customer base again, right? Because the only customers these companies have are their distributors themselves, right? It's time we make a change. It's time we turn this on its head. Now guys, the collectibles industry, if you've heard, is a $458 billion a year industry. $458 billion. Projected to go $1 trillion by the year 2033. Now guys, what if we can get 1% of that? Just 1%. Right? A lot of people in this room believe we can, and I believe we can. We're going to become the next billion-dollar company. Billion-dollar company! We want to be a part of that! That's right. This is the real deal. You know, when you think to yourself, well, what about competition? There is no competition. This has never been done before. We don't have to compete with Walmart and GNC and every CVS in the United States. This has never been done before. We are a 100% customer product-driven company. You know, Dave's vision that started 40 years ago, he started putting these collectibles together. You know, this is not potions, pills, and lotions. We don't have to convince people to buy these products. The want is already there. The want is already there. You know, collectors are passionate people. They're passionate about what they have. And what do they want to do? They want to add to their collection. They just want to add to their collection. Or some people might just want to go to the website and look for something that brings their childhood memory back. Guys, this is a special time and a special place. And I am so excited to be here. I can tell you one thing. The people that are sitting in this room, we have an opportunity that will never happen again in our lifetime. Never. It will never, never, never come around. And it's like Dale said, one day really soon, and I truly believe this, when you hear collect direct, it's going to be like hearing eBay. This company is on the move. Now guys, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say this, and I'll leave with this. If you're on the live stream or if you're in this room, if you're listening, you need to leave this conference this weekend. And here's what I'm going to say. They said one time, if a man sets himself on fire, people will come around for miles to watch it burn. And I can tell you, leave this conference with your hair on fire. Because in a few short years, you're going to be saying one of two things, and Dale said it. You're going to be saying, either I'm glad I did, or I wished I had. Thank you.
Hey, this is Dale Calvert. I hope you enjoyed that talk from Tony Shoup. I really want to encourage all of you guys to take the time. I promise you it'll be worth it, to head over to tinyurl.com/Tony Shoup story. Capital T, capital S, capital S. tinyurl.com Tony Shoup story. And I think it will mean even more to you, and it will give you a clearer path on the absolute fact that average people with above average desire with the right opportunity at the right time in history and the right team culture can get create an astronomical income over time and build a company and a organization and a team that they've heard about for years and years that they can be proud of. If you don't have the right company, the right opportunity in history, it doesn't matter. And even if you do, you've got to be with the right team that understands this franchise approach that Tony Shoup and many others have used to really make a huge positive impact on their life. So thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next week. Those of you listening on podcast, we'll be back again on another session. Next Tuesday it will drop. We appreciate you. Have a great week. Dale Calvert out. Talk to you soon.